$1 million HDBs prove that Singapore's housing market is broken.
No, it's just the market forces. It's a norm that we have to accept. Kalau banyak HDB already hit $1 million, $1.5 million plus, if let's say it increases to 1.8, 1.9, this means that they are sitting on more capital gain.
Like in terms of an investment, it doesn't make sense, right?
First and foremost, the concept of HDB. HDB is public housing. It is not for someone to buy based on speculation. Tak tahu. Selamat datang ke another episode of
Tak tahu Tanya. Okay guys, for today's episode, it's very interesting. Why is it interesting?
Why? Tell me why.
Why is it interesting?
Ain't nothing.
Sebab ni topik banyak orang dah bicarakan. A lot of people have discussed about this, and I think it's one of the growing concerns in Singapore and HDB buyers. The topic today is $1 million HDBs. So $1 million HDBs, why are they like a big worry? Macam kenapa tiba-tiba ada macam $1 million HDBs? Where are they coming from? From where? Like macam tiba-tiba rumah dah masuk 1 million.
I think the reason why you say it's a growing concern is because I think Singaporeans in general, their main worry is whether HDBs are getting more unaffordable or is it becoming unattainable now?
Yeah.
An unattainable asset. Yeah.
So sekarang kan, recently kan, there's a lot of macam $1 million HDBs in Singapore.
Yeah.
And also macam like these HDBs that is sprouting, the main worry kenapa it's so
how do we get there?
Yeah, like how do we get there? And also macam like, can we even afford HDBs anymore? Because $1 million HDBs are popping up everywhere already. So like macam the main worry is, can we afford HDBs in the future? And is this a worrying trend that is gonna sprout in every other HDB, not just macam like specific locations? Yeah.
I think it's really based on the really market forces. So the demand and supply. First and foremost, $1 million HDB flats, not say every HDB that's on the resale market is $1 million. There's really, number one, what are the types of HDBs that are actually now transacting at $1 million prices? That's number one. What are the different locations that are transacting at $1 million prices? Number two. And then, of course, when we're talking about $1 million prices for HDB, actually, why are they $1 million prices? So when you say, if let's say today I don't decide to buy this $1 million price, for this type of unit or home that I want to buy in this location, what are my other choices? Maybe you say like something similar like this. If I don't get this, what can I buy elsewhere?
Right.
So all these will also sort of really shape the overall sentiments and demand for these $1 million prices. So for example, what are some areas that you guys know that HDBs are transacting at $1 million?
Bishan.
Bishan is one.
More
Dawson
is Woodlands.
Woodlands
So
also,
I was quite surprised actually when I
They
saw
made the headline, is it?
Yeah,
$1 million HDB.
Oh yeah, there was the article, right?
That was sold at 1.27 million.
Yeah.
I think back to what Ramzi mentioned also lah, about the different types of units. Because macam kalau HDB ada banyak kind of units, right? There's 2 room, 3 room, 4 room, 5 room. Then on top of 5 room lagi ada EA, got EM.
Yeah, that's true.
And the big one is Jumbo. So for example, for the Woodlands example, I would say high chance is probably going to be a Jumbo. Because Jumbo is the largest kind of size that you can get.
I have a friend who stays in a Jumbo in Woodlands. It's really huge, man.
It's crazy, bro.
It's really huge. Wow, I come in, I feel like there's 2 sections to the home. You know,
It's like what? 2 room plus 2 room, is it?
yeah, it's like a 3 room plus 3 room. Actually, I have 2 friends staying, but I've only been to one of their houses.
I've been to one of my friends' houses who live in a Jumbo. He has 2 living rooms.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how it works lah.
That's
Jumbo.
crazy.
And then on both
Just
sides of the
combine,
living room,
right?
there's
Crazy.
on both sides of the living room, there's like 2 bedrooms each. So imagine it's a 4-bedder plus 2 huge living room, and then okay, fine, kitchen is like
also
normal.
they will.
But you
They can
have
make
like
it-
They have a foyer and a balcony
have
somewhere.
foyer, then have
Relax.
foyer. Then you know the old school, they like to, the foyer entrance like to have a like
exactly. It's
separation.
like a walkway in, right?
Yeah, then you have glass panel, then you have like stone kind of like
Crazy.
decoration. Wow, really takes me back to the days, last time, wow,
Tapi
houses are older.
honestly, kalau rumah besar macam gitu, kalau $1 million, I mean like as much as I want to understand, I would, if let's say like the needs like arise, I would pay $1 million if let's say macam
correct,
I
because
really want house.
like, it goes back to the point. If you want that kind of house in the market today, where size is important to you in that area, where else can you find?
Itulah. Tapi the main concern, okay, not main lah. I think like macam one of the concerns that is growing, right? Macam like Woodlands is not meant to be a $1 million estate in the first place. But because of this sprouting $1 million HDB that just arise, then it's starting to like macam like turn like people dah start pandang Woodlands tau macam actually Woodlands dah makin mahal
I think the article sometimes can be
misleading,
skewed lah, because if let's say there's a $1 million HDB transaction comes up, then it becomes on the news. But padahal the truth is most of the transactions are still below $1 million, 800k, 700k, around there. But it's just because this one transaction made it, then it kind of provides people with the mindset, Woodlands dah $1 million dah mahal.
I mean,
but it's not the case.
It makes you feel more optimistic on like places like Woodlands, and it also kind of is a reflection of the demand.
Yes,
because if there is really someone buying a jumbo flat in Woodlands, and you know Woodlands is a neighborhood that has quite a lot of jumbo flats. Where else can you find jumbo flats in Singapore? Actually, not many places. Right? Woodlands, maybe Yishun.
Heartlands.
Maybe Jurong West, that kind.
Tampines.
Jurong West, right? Tampines, I'm not sure. I'm not sure
Not
about
really.
Tampines.
Not that I know of.
Bishan.
Bishan mainly EA or EM.
Right.
Oh,
EA, EM ada.
Yeah.
think
Tampines, as far as I know, largest is only EM. Like Tampines, Bishan, largest are all EM. But the EM is like 1,500.
Also nowadays, jumbo cannot be made anymore. You cannot break down
So
two
supply
walls
is
to make a
limited.
jumbo.
EM also
So
supply is
that
limited.
brings the whole concept of supply. There's very minimal supply of jumbo.
Actually, interesting. You guys know how were jumbo units created? Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, viewers. This is just what I've heard, my understanding. Is last time when it comes to HDB units, actually the demand not strong. So my government needed to sell HDB units. So
time bila? Which year?
I don't know, man. It's like maybe 1980s, 1970s.
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time. Correct me if I'm wrong. Just hearsay only. Yeah. But so as like a what I call that? As a strategy or promotion, I guess so.
Yeah.
They allow people to buy 2 units side by side and then merge them into 1 unit.
For the price of 1 unit.
I don't think for the price of 1 unit lah, but at least for that particular unit, then you're buying it as a whole. But for 2 units, you buy it as a whole.
Tapi sekarang dah tak ada lah.
No such scheme lah. Now no
Even
such
sekarang
scheme
tak ada EA, EM already. Max is your 5 room.
Which is macam to me like macam it doesn't make sense. This is just besides the $1 million HDB lah. But I feel like the demand for a jumbo flat, obviously the demand is a lot. But isn't it macam like in terms of an investment, it doesn't make sense, right? For you to buy a $1 million
but
jumbo
it boils down to first and foremost the concept of HDB. HDB is public housing. It is not for someone to buy based on speculation. It's not for someone to buy with the hopes of making money down the road. Yeah, it is for a family to buy to meet their own needs. Yeah, it's the needs of own state.
Which begs the question for me: what are the kind of profile, the buyer profiles that are
macam nak beli
buying $1 million units?
Yeah.
So it really depends. Like I said, depends on location. Because if you are talking about heartlands, $1 million flats are usually the larger units. But larger units usually has lower remaining lease. They are older, right? Yeah. So pros and cons, right? If let's say I'm a buyer in my 20s, me and my spouse in my 20s, but I buy something that has 50 years remaining, 60 years remaining, am I able to really be able to maximize the usage of my CPF and whatever financial loans that I can take? Not necessarily, because maybe my age, the youngest age, and the remaining lease sum is still less than 95. So would that be a wise decision? I'm not sure.
Understand.
Yeah. But then again, if you go to the more city-fringe locations, for example, Bidadari now, all the recently MOP HDBs, the largest, guess what is the largest type of unit you can find there?
This thing tak ada tau actually.
5 room.
No, not even 5 room, 4 room.
Yeah,
4 room
tak
je.
salah. The nearer you are to town, the smaller the houses get. If I'm not wrong. Yeah.
4 room, and they're all transacting at least $1 million. Yeah, at least $1 million.
Why?
Means say like the low floor is already asking about 900 plus to $1 million.
Because okay, the main factor is because they are close to town and also they are new. They're the
It
newest.
is a combination of factors. Number one, city-fringe location.
City-fringe.
Okay. Number two is that if I want 3 bedrooms for a unit, if today I want 3 bedrooms, what can I find in the market? If I go to condo, how much is a 3-bedder? So if let's say, for example, condo now in 3-bedder is maybe 1.8. Okay, I don't even think 1.8.
If you're looking at Bidadari,
maybe we look at between Woodley to Boon Keng.
if you look at Potong Pasir, it will be about 2 already.
2 million for 3 bedrooms.
Okay.
Right? So let's say if 2 million for 3 bedroom, right? And if I want to go to the HDB market, if the gap is too big, there will be room for HDB prices to go up.
I
right?
see.
Right? So there should always be some form of like equilibrium. Right? But sometimes, of course, at different seasons of the market, equilibrium, sometimes the gap can be too small, sometimes the gap can be too wide. That's why we start seeing prices move. Yeah, it is inter markets also lah. It's one thing, but within the market also is another thing. So for example, if St. George's Tower is at Boon Keng, St. George's Tower is a relatively new. Why are you laughing?
Nothing. I thought you said, do you see George's Tower? I'm like, George Tower.
No, if you see, for example, a newer cluster at Boon Keng,
St. George's
Towers, right? You can see the low floor HDBs there, 4 rooms, the largest, is already at least $1 million. Higher ones can be asking about 1.2, 1.3. Yeah. And then if you go to Bidadari, also the same thing. So actually not much difference, city-fringe. You go to Red Hill, also the same. Yeah. You go to Queenstown, also the same.
Tapi macam, if you think about it, like macam, okay, I understand the fact that macam the closer you are to town, a lot of people want these units. But like macam HDBs are still HDBs mah. Macam we still it's still made for macam like the people lah.
The whole purpose of HDB is affordable housing for Singaporeans.
So what keeps HDB resale prices in check?
Yeah, why is this happening actually? Macam that's a good. You continue. Sorry.
In terms of the price rise, is it?
Yeah.
So
macam
what keeps HDB resale prices in check?
Okay, so like
this one system.
A few things to address for this lah. First of all, for the resale market, it's tough for the government to kind of regulate, because this one is if there's a willing buyer and they want to and they can buy at this price, they will still buy at this price. So first of all, a few ways they try to regulate HDB prices is like COV. For example, there's a cash over valuation portion. If the unit is transaction above the valuation, the remaining have to be paid in cash. But the issue or the concern that we see on why the HDB prices keep rising is because people actually can afford this UV.
So technically banyak Singaporean boleh ada like macam semua macam everybody is doing good lah.
Yes.
Is that the main reason?
In a way, like I also think Singapore is competitive in a sense where like if let's say there's this unit that comes up and there are 5 willing buyers that want to pay this price and then they actually transact at this price, it falls on the rest of us to see the transaction and be like, wow, actually why the price is so expensive, but there is a willing buyer. That's the issue.
Is it a supply demand issue?
I would think yes, in a city like Singapore, because we are small.
Going back to that, we have another case study to share, but whether it's a supply demand issue or not.
So I would think that it is lah, because like we are our demand is very strong for housing, especially if you book BTOs, most of the time it will just be completely booked out. Which the other thing I wanted to bring up was like if you talk about the regulation of HDB prices, that's how they introduce the new schemes, the plus prime and the standard, which is a good way to macam combat the prices
the growing prices
for HDBs also. For example, prime locations. If I'm looking at the prime locations, I'm pretty sure their prices macam 700k, 800k.
Yes. For
the reason is also macam a lot of people just want to like flip, right? Tak ke?
For the prime and
for
the
plus.
Prime.
Okay, if you're talking about sentiments today, people going for prime, not necessary to flip.
They really want the convenience of staying at town while not paying a
have accepted the fact that perhaps they might need to sacrifice a little bit on.
That's why I got Tanya MOP.
So kirakan the flipping mindset of because back then dah tak lagi lah.
Imagine today if I go for prime HDB, okay, they launch it today. And usually, this is a trend I see lah. I wouldn't say it is a certainty, but sometimes, as I can see, prime projects usually they take longer to build as compared to maybe standard projects. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's more city-fringe area. It's more dense, more populated. So I guess it will take a little bit longer because there's like more careful construction planning.
Yeah, maybe traffic.
Yeah, like for example, you see Bishan Regis. You know Bishan Regis?
Bishan Regis or Toa Payoh Regis?
Bishan
So Bartley Regis.
Bishan Regis.
Bro, but
Clementi Regis.
Okay, I know there's Toa Payoh
Actually,
Regis.
every town got
There's a
Regis
Bishan
one. I'm sure Woodlands got Regis.
It's like the one that just
Opposite
TOP.
Sky Habitat.
Clementi pun ada
Yeah, the
Regis.
one that's just recently.
oh, ni yang kat sebelah MRT
It's a huge, it's not really.
Alamak,
It's
Saburi.
beside Sky Habitat.
Bro, guys, he's typing HBH, HBS.
Oh, you just search Sky Habitat.
Bishan Regis.
Bishan Regis. It's a
yeah,
huge cluster. I think it was launched maybe about 5-6 years ago. Until now, the owners still have not collected keys.
Serious?
I think so, yes. I believe so.
Wow.
I believe
Tapi dah
so.
TOP belum?
At the time of filming.
Belum lagi.
Not yet. That's why. So like,
Lamanya.
I think this was affected by COVID also.
lama.
Yeah. So that's why it will take a very long while. Let's not imagine I buy today. I need to wait for the construction to be done maybe 4 to 5 years. And then on top of that, I need to stay for 10 years.
Oh,
So
no,
my
prime.
overall,
Yeah.
this is not prime. It's not prime.
This one
But
under
let's say-
the what?
It's last time
This is the
what?
normal one. So today you buy prime. You need to wait 14-15 years from today. And let's say you are aged maybe about 25, right? 15 years from now you're about 40. Only 40 years old, then you're able to sort of really embark on like your property
expansion,
journey,
Which I still think 40 is okay if you think about
It's
it. It's
still
just
okay.
that you already sacrificed 5 years of your loan lah.
Yeah.
The autumn dah, the autumn
Because,
season.
Yeah, you are
That's
at your
why- yeah.
summer. I think summer.
Yeah.
Sama eh?
Autumn already.
Autumn.
You're going to
The
your
autumn,
autumn season. Yeah, I mean, one thing, of course, when you want to go and purchase your next property whatsoever, your loan tenure not able to maximize if you go to private. But I guess that is fine. But I think the most importantly is that this 15 years, right, your brain will be shut down in terms of like thinking about property portfolio,
I see.
about building a property portfolio, because you cannot take any action. Right?
Right.
You can always be in the market, but you can't take action. So in that sense, right, there's like this blackout period also. And for the next 15 years, right, they just focus on building your family there. Of course, you get to enjoy the location, the facilities. I'm pretty sure the new plus, the new plus and prime models will be very good also. Yeah, but at the same time, I think what the government has done is a very good scheme to really sort of redefine HDBs in this type of like more prime locations.
Yeah.
To really make people focus on enjoying to stay there rather than buying it and flipping.
Anyways, I'm pretty sure kalau you buy plus or prime, when you sell in the future, the resale demand will be very high. I'm pretty sure. My personal forecast, I think you can clip this in 2025, in 2040. My personal forecast is I think prime will reach 2 million.
Wow.
Easily.
Yeah, I would think so too. So,
I think
tapi
prime will reach 2
kalau
million.
if you're talking about macam future kan, what do you think honestly, right? Macam since $1 million HDBs dah macam popping out everywhere kan. So are you gonna expect that $1 million HDB is gonna be a norm? Like literally everywhere in Singapore is gonna be $1 million already. Do you think that's gonna happen, or will the government act on this?
And if you are predicting $2 million HDB in 2040,
Yeah.
between now and 2040, I'm sure the government will come out of different ways of cooling measures to curb
Yeah.
this
You see,
pricing, right?
growth is good for the country. So as long as we see slow, steady increment in the price, it is good. What the government doesn't want to happen is another situation where prices run up out of control. Yeah. So currently right now, the price, I would say, it has stabilized. And this year particularly, government has introduced supply of BTO more than 50,000. On the ground, we do see it affecting some of the resale demand over here in Singapore for the resale HDBs, especially like your 4 rooms and 5 rooms. Why? Because now as a first time buyer, right, if I want a house, BTO allows me to turn my head a little bit, like, hey, I got options now.
That's true.
Right? Now BTO supply is more means what? I got more chance, right? And now I can choose whether I can go plus, prime, standard, right? If I want good location, I go for the plus, the prime. And don't be surprised. Actually, a lot of people do go for plus and prime.
Yes.
You see the application rates for plus and prime projects.
Very high.
It's still very high. Yeah, it's still very high.
Yeah. Interestingly, I had like friends who come up to me to ask me, right, like, should I beli BTO, beli standard, plus or prime? Then when I break down, right, they actually do have intention of doing property expansion, but they ask me whether it is still good to go for plus or prime. And I think they still lean towards plus or prime because at the end of the day, when they get married and the growing years of their kids, I feel like they might want to settle down at one place.
A good location.
Yeah. And then once their kids get older, maybe secondary school, then they can think about property expansion. So I don't think it's fully on the fact that macam HDB wants you to stay at this place because at the end of the day, I still think that these people have plans to upgrade their asset. It's just that sekarang you introduce a 10-year MOP, then they kind of like at this dilemma lah. Should I go for plus or prime, good location, or should I go for a standard and do my property expansion journey? So, or should I just buy resale? Yeah, I think the MOP is a huge factor.
Yeah,
that's why a lot of people are
Sekarang,
concerned.
But I think to answer your question, right, like just now you asked, is really $1 million HDB, is it the norm? Right?
Yeah, I mean, is it going to be a norm? Yeah.
I think we have to accept the fact that in certain locations, HDB $1 million HDBs for a certain type of unit is the norm.
Yeah,
understand.
For example, if you want 4-room, new one, very young one, in city-fringe, you have to accept the fact that it's going for at least $1 million. Why? Because the alternatives are actually going at much higher, right? That's why they are able to be able to afford to ask these kind of prices. But if you go to a new 4-room in, let's say, for example, Pasir Ris or Heartlands, of course they won't be asking like about.
Actually, you'll be surprised. I think Bedok there's one new one. Feng Shan Greenville, right?
Yeah,
800k.
Okay lah, but Bedok is also still quite popular. Actually, like there are some heartland places like for example Clementi, Bedok. Yeah, still also very popular.
Clementi is already $1 million. Like.
Yeah, the newer ones will be asking like.
Yeah, that time I saw DBSS Trivalis 980.
Yeah,
980. Then I just sold one Strathmore 990.
Yeah.
So
you go Tampines, brand new 5-room. Okay, we say brand new like freshly MOP 5-room, already 900 plus. Going to be $1 million.
Next year, we got 2 kat Dawson MOP, Sky Residence, and Sky Oasis. I think those will be
1.5
insane prices.
Yeah.
Wow. They will break records. You will see 1.8, 1.9.
Wow. Actually, why Dawson so famous?
Okay,
because,
Dawson.
aside from it being new and aside from it being like sky high, dia tinggi gila kan. Dia dah macam pencil loh. Tengah berdiri pencil loh.
Macam langit lah.
Dah boleh cucuk langit lah. Anyway, so basically Dawson kan, dia punya location. I'm honestly macam like it's near city, I understand.
Yes.
But there's also a lot of places that are near city. So what makes Dawson so special actually? Tak faham. Kenapa?
Okay, first and foremost, it is the price disparity. Yeah. So if I want to buy a 3-bedder in Queenstown area, surrounding Queenstown area, I look at the condos there, it's at least 2.5 million. For example, Sterling is think about the Sterling last recorded.
The compact is 2.4, 2.5, then the premium 2.8 already. Yeah.
If you look at Penrith, the asking prices for 3-bedders there is minimum 2.9, right?
Premium
No. Premium one. Sorry.
No, premium was lower. That's why Penrith was quite attractive because the price was good. It was about 2.7.
2.7, sorry. 2.7 around there, correct. Yeah, 2.7. But maybe average you go the higher floor, maybe about 2.9.
Yeah, the higher floor will go up to 3.
Yeah.
3.3.
3 million. Yeah.
I don't know, the 40 story.
But Penrith quite attractive. Penrith, the 4-bedders all eventually below 4 mil, right?
Yeah.
Or below 4 mil. Yeah. But then you see, so 3-bedders there is already about 2.7 for brand new one, those kind of things. That allows newer HDBs in that area to sort of really climb up in that sense. Like because the disparity is too big already. That's why you see Dawson HDBs, the price keeps crawling up. Yeah, the price keeps going up. Of course, some certain very unique factors like you get very nice GCB view, you get protected greenery view, unblocked view. If you stay on the higher floor, you get very nice high floor views, all these kind of things. And then of course you're in city-fringe, you're in close proximity to MRT station, and then imagine you stay city-fringe yet it feels like a heartland staying there. So you really get the best of both worlds. I believe those are really the very unique propositions about the Dawson area and why people like to stay there, why the demand there is always very good. But it's mostly in terms of the price disparity. Yeah,
I think Dawson as an estate is new. Like if you see the HDBs at Dawson, they are all built around the same time, which means that it's like you can go to the feel of Dawson, right? It's like a new estate.
Right, understand.
Sky Residence, Sky Oasis, all this is like all baru. Then got Sterling also baru. There's also older ones like your block 48, your block 58. All these are older. Tapi just the entire feel of the Dawson.
They were the first HDBs that climbed the $1 million, right?
I think so.
No,
yeah,
I think
not wrong.
Duxton was the
Duxton,
first.
Pinnacle.
Duxton.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then followed by Dawson.
Solid choice right now. If you want to buy.
Sekarang HDB paling mahal kat mana? Korang tahu tak?
I would still say Dawson.
Dawson, I think recently 1.82. Is it 1.82?
Aduh.
Asking
No, transacted.
No cannot be. Right now the highest is 1.753. That's the highest transacted.
Fadila, can you please check?
Korang rasa?
That's the highest now.
1.82, right?
I don't think he 1.8 yet.
Oh yeah lah.
Korang rasa that one day HDB akan match the price of a condo tak?
No lah. I
No
think
lah.
there will always be an
Never.
equilibrium.
Okay, actually, aku nak
1.72.
Yeah, 1.73.
You take 1.73, you go to a little bit more of the OCR region. What can you get 1.73? Yeah, a lot of things. You get a 4-bedder condo. Can sometimes maybe lucky enough 5-bedder condo.
No, even at 1.73 you can buy, because but HDB loan is based on 30% MSR, which means that if you buy private you can buy more. You can buy 2 million plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, at 1.73. But I just think people want the
Fair, 1.73.
HDB kind of feel, big size, nice view. Like all this you cannot get for condo lah.
I feel like all the HDBs now, the size is about the same as the condo.
Lah,
already.
That's right.
Honestly, it's literally like a condo without the amenities.
Maybe just the location and the view lah. For example, Dawson is really like you can see a GCB view and then the view of the entire city. It's very nice. So
yeah, I think there's another concept also of how owning a private property allows you to unlock a little bit more opportunities. But I think that one we save it for another topic or another channel. Not channel, another episode. Yeah, another channel and episode as well. But I mean, there's very limited things that you can do with HDB, because eventually ultimately HDB is for your own stay. Right, you cannot decouple or whatsoever. If you want to, you need to plan way ahead in advance. There will manner of holding, etc., all based on regulations at that point in time. Yeah, but private allows you to do a lot more things. Yeah.
Okay, tapi aku nak go back to yang kau cakap tadi, the concept of Penrith, a 3-bedder is 2.7 million,
2.7.
which in a way increase newer HDBs in the Queenstown area to go up as well.
There will be some form of like invisible gap. Yeah. Then that the market will know. Right. And if the gap becomes too close, then we know that it can be HDBs are overvalued now, or the condo market is undervalued. Yeah.
So the government is trying
always,
to do it.
There's a market consensus. So what the government is trying to do is always maintain this equilibrium, at the same time ensure that everything goes up healthily. Yeah.
So my question is, between the new private property and new HDB, and then the older HDB, will these three categories, the prices will eventually increase in the future?
yeah. So first, I think you need to look at the market leader, which is the condos in this case.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Penrith increase and the price really appreciate by a lot, then naturally
Everything will go up.
HDB also appreciate lah. But okay, the difference between HDB and condo, there will always be that disparity, like what Ramzi said, the equilibrium.
Yeah.
But the difference is that for HDB, you have very, very strong cooling measures from the government, which means that let's say macam ini, then the condo move up here. By right, the HDB should move up here, and then you move up here, right? Tapi because of the HDB cooling measures, like your MSR, all your MOP, your COV, because of all this, that's why HDB prices are more regulated in a way. But it's because that sometimes HDB can transact at 1.73 is because really there's a buyer. They got banyak cash. They just want to down everything. Maybe they already stayed at landed property, 5 million, 6 million.
Not to say that the record price is 1.73, then all the other similar types are doing at 1.73.
Yeah,
no,
it's just
a record,
right, you know?
right? Yeah. Maybe the maybe the average at that area maybe about 1.4, 1.5. Actually, that's already very high lah. Yeah, that's already very, very high.
So kirakan kalau you got 1.73 million to buy like in Sky Oasis, macam taking the case study of the highest HDB price transacted, right?
Yes.
So kirakan that guy really want to live there. The 1.73 million can buy a lot of things, no?
Like, I think it's where you derive value from. Because value to different people is different, right? Not.
Right.
Some people, they want to focus more on like really maximizing financial value. Then if that's the case, then perhaps putting your 1.73 million in that Sky Oasis HDB might not be the best decision for you. Right? Then maybe because you might want to put it in a better performing kind of asset or harder asset. Yeah, something that can generate a little bit more returns for you. Yeah, but if you're someone who really sees value in staying in that area, buying that type of unit, enjoying this kind of view, with this kind of layout, and enjoying the space whatsoever, you see value in paying for it, then who am I to stop you from saying no?
So now, right, if kalau in the future kan, like macam like you said just now, like the prices of HDBs will akan naik. Dia macam nak tak nak pun dia akan naik. Yeah, because of apa nama dia, inflation, everything will still go up. But like macam if let's say in one fine day, like a lot of the houses gonna be like macam 1 million or close to a million, macam 800,000. Like now it's creeping out 600,000, 700,000. The cheapest one in Woodlands, I just checked, it was like, okay, Woodlands you still can get older units. But if let's say macam like even the macam like somewhat 10 years, 20 years MOP, I think it will probably be around like 500,000, 600,000. That's a good like price point. But if let's say macam like somewhere in the future with all these $1 million HDB popping up, all these the lower numbers are not popping up anymore. So probably the lowest one will probably be like 700,000, 800,000. Do you think the government will help us even more? Atau because macam if HDB is made for macam for the people, right? Then if like the higher numbers keep going up, that means the lower numbers still need to go up also. Right? Yeah. So do you think the government akan tolong kita tak? Sebab macam benda ni is actually quite worrying lah.
Yeah, which respect to the affordability and whether HDBs are becoming unattainable lah.
So there are schemes that are provided by government to always help the affordability portion. They always help it makes, they will try and help it make a little bit more affordable for you. Of course, if you are looking at resale market, what determines the price would be the market forces, right? Right not. Of course, government also has a lot of control on market pricing lah. Yeah, but as much as possible, the price is the price. Government cannot change that price, but what they can do is to help support you in whatever way they can. So there are like grants, right? And grants, if you go buy today resale HDB, provided you are eligible for them, there are maximum, I think, up to 3 grants that you can apply for. First one is definitely the first timer grant, the family grant. Then second one is the enhanced housing grant. Then the third one is the proximity housing grant. So all these grants, of course, if let's say you're eligible for them, you can go up to how much?
Yeah. About 100k plus. 100K so plus. If let's say like we do like a quick macam breakdown. Let's say we own a 600k HDB.
Correct.
Yeah, just give you a quick financial math breakdown. If you take 25% down payment, which is the max down payment you can take, then it will come up to 150k in terms of the down payment. This is cash and CPF. Tapi ini belum offset kau punya grant lagi.
Faham.
Jadi you still need to offset your grant. So if you offset your grant minus 20k, and then your first timer grant is 80k
for 4 room.
For 4 room and 3 room. Yeah. Then you're left with 50k. You also have enhanced housing grant, which is dependent on kau punya income, for example. So if you earn up to, is it 14k? Yeah, 14k.
Up to 9,000.
9,000, yes. Up to 9,000. Then if you earn below 9,000 as a combined couple, then you get a bit of grant also. So let's say you offset another 10k. Then by right, your down payment is only 40k.
Yeah.
I see.
And this can be paid by CPF also. Which means that technically your cash portion is not a lot.
Of course, this is assuming
so this is how the government helps you to.
This is assuming you take HDB loan and you're able to take the max 75%.
That's the thing. Like as for now, right, 600,000, that equation for 600,000 makes sense. So in the future, if it goes 800,000, how can the government help?
So I think something I can forecast is maybe they increase the grant amount. That's one.
Of course, like we cannot say it's certain. But that's why government is also being very proactive.
Right.
They're always on the ground as well, listening to feedback. Like
it's crazy because we asking you guys like macam korang kerja HDB gitu. Padahal korang tak kerja HDB Hafiz aku just terfikir macam aku tanya korang macam korang kerja HDB tu. Aku like sorry for putting guys at the tu lah.
So we are like the government representative. No guys, HDB bukan mahal sangat.
But that calculation opened my mind, say. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, ya
So,
ke?
macam, like at first aku akan macam this is like in my mind I feel like HDBs are getting more harder to get, expensive. So but now that you do the
No, but I think the question is
grants,
then
everything
600k, what can you buy?
600k you still can get 4 room.
Correct lah. So what can you buy lah?
You get 4 room comfortably.
That's the thing. Like macam, cause I'm in the stage of buying houses right now.
Yeah.
So like macam like I can take myself as a normal Singaporean who's starting out a family.
Yeah.
I think I'm a very good profile for a person, normal Singaporean starting out a family. So what I can afford is literally like I cannot afford the newest like resale like 5 years like 5 years MOP and the newest MOP building or HDB I cannot afford. And then like macam like obviously I can afford like 10 years or 15 years MOP. Like that will the price will probably like come to like 600,000, 650,000. That one I can afford. But when I actually do the calculation like how you did just now, literally how the government help you, right, is they don't help you. Like let's say I want to buy a 650,000. I can afford that much, but they won't let you afford that much. So they will help you a certain bit, and then macam like when you want to down pay, right, they make sure that you have like somewhat of a cash portion that you like. You need to not say struggle, but you need to do your part to contribute also. So that means your CPF need to have this much also. If your CPF don't have this much, right, then your cash need to like push out. So that means the government make sure that you have to contribute also. Yeah, they don't help you bulat-bulat lah.
I think to summarize that is that yes, government will be there to support you. Yeah. But they also don't want you to be fully leveraged on them, nor any of the financial institutions or loans that you take. Yeah. Because ultimately they want you to practice some form of prudency also. Correct. So of course there will be certain commitments lah, financial commitments that you have to make. But at the same time, if let's say we really find difficulty, there will always be some form of support from government that can help to ease a bit lah, ease your financial affordability a bit. Yeah,
I cannot help.
All I can say is, of course, everyone has their different income, their different numbers that they're working with. Buy something which is, of course, I mean,
within your means.
Within your means, yeah, definitely. I mean, as much as possible, see what you are eligible for in terms of the help and support from government, and then buy within your means, and of course, be a little bit more realistic lah. Yeah. Right? Not say like, let's say I can only afford like maybe 600 or 700, but I want to stay like a brand new 4-room city-fringe kind of thing. Of course, it's quite
unrealistic.
Doesn't match, right? So it'll be realistic as well. And I think now there's
expectation
managing expectation.
Because I think the BTO scheme is quite good lah. Because the brand new scheme where are the standard plus prime, actually the prices all about the same. It's about the same. All the prices.
It's just the circumstances.
It's just that the rulings are different. So the way the government do it is they make the prices the same. They give you the choice. You can choose A, B or C. But if you choose C, this is ni yang rabak.
Numbers.
If you choose B, ni yang rabak. You choose A, okay lah, payah MOP. So for example, like for prime, I'm pretty sure the new one, Belaya residence, that one.
Oh, that's
the
crazy.
clawback, very high, I think. 13% is the highest one. Like, let's say the clawback 13%, right?
Okay, you got to answer government. Okay, so based
very smart lah. Based on my forecast, let's say you can sell 2 million. Let's say you sell 2 million. 13% clawback. You need to give 260k to government.
Then why you want to
all
sell
your
yeah.
You need to give this amount to the government. That's insane.
Wow.
Okay, but then again, that will be about 14-15 years time. Of course, things will change a lot. You also don't know how much the value of $1 Singapore dollar is. Right, at that point in time. So I mean, it's too early to sort of state lah. I'm pretty sure government have their own sort of like, they're all scholars. So they can sort of try and build a kind of framework lah. They can see that 13% clawback makes sense or not. Yeah, but I think today at this present moment, just buy within your means, right? Be a little bit more realistic. If you need any help, of course, just go and contact your real estate consultant. Just get in touch with any of us. Yeah, and then I think currently right now, in terms of buying a HDB, there's a lot more options for first timers, as well as people who are looking for a home, because you got the BTO, then you also got the resale. And currently right now, it is resale market. It is, I would say, not too complex. Right? Not too complex. right? If you want something that's more city-fringe, you go inside a bit more, you must be prepared to pay this price. I think down the road, when you start seeing all these plus and prime HDB flats that are going to reach the MOP stage and then be the resale market, I think that will cause some form of complexity and like dual layer, triple layer in the resale market.
Correct.
So, don't wait too long. Don't wait too long also. If you need one, of course, see what works best for you lah. Go and do a consultation, check your financial health, etc.
Faham.
Tak boleh beli HDB ada balcony lah.
Tak boleh lah.
Macam ada lah. Actually Woodlands ada. Woodlands ada.
Boleh ada.
Kau bilang
Actually, tengah also have. No?
Yeah.
I just sold 880. Ada balcony. Tapi diorang cover.
No, we're talking about the newer units have balcony.
Got.
Yeah.
Tengah got.
Yeah, tengah have.
Tengah ada.
5 room.
Tengah have. Some units quite interesting.
Is the balcony kat tengah-tengah rumah?
Itu bukan balcony.
I saw that coming, bro. I saw that coming.
Sorry, I don't get the joke. What's the joke? I'm not on their wavelength.
No, because
The location is tengah, right? So he asking.
Oh my goodness.
balcony kat tengah rumah. Kat tengah.
You balcony kat tengah rumah tengok apa?
You just go in there. What view? The view is your house.
I got one last thing to bring up, and I think this, macam I think this one affects people that is watching this podcast lah, macam more of our Malay community.
Yeah.
So kirakan macam now, right? What is your advice to orang yang nak beli rumah? Macam just now Ramzi gave like good advice in terms of like macam prudency on like what you should buy, what you can buy, and also thinking of like the future lah of how you buy these kind of houses.
Okay.
So what are your advices to like macam the Malay community, and what is the trend in terms of like macam the clients that you have like macam seen on the ground?
I wouldn't specify this to the Malay community. I think it's hard. But I can just say as a general feedback, if let's say you're looking at a HDB, if you're looking at HDB first, you understand your affordability. In terms of your max income, how much loan you're eligible for, go and do your HFE. Go and check how much loan you're eligible for. If you're buying resale versus BTO, understand what the pros and cons first. For example, BTO, longer waiting time, you sell later. Resale, you can buy now, tapi it's older. Take note of the remaining lease. See, you can cover you until 95. For HDB also, for resale also, of course, check your grants. Go and check your enhanced housing grant, proximity housing grant. Do you want to stay within 4K with your parents? Do you want to stay in another location? Because that will play 20K. 20K is a lot actually.
Right.
And then your first timer grant. Do you want to get a 4 room or 5 room? That's 80K or 50K in terms of the grants. So all these are important considerations. In terms of pricing and everything, I would say that is really quite balanced because of the grants for resale. I think it kind of balances out. But let's say you're a first timer, more family profiles will actually lean to BTO because of how like in terms of buying a BTO, it's just much easier. You buy the BTO, you don't have to pay everything now, you can wait, and then you get a brand new HDB. And the other thing to take note about BTO is that later when the property is ready, actually you have a lot of neighbors who have the similar profile to you.
Right.
Yeah, they are all also first. Yeah, so when you think about the concept of raising kids and having kids, your kids can play with their kids. These are just some
members
side,
potential members.
Yeah. Like for example, last time I used to play with other kids in the same block.
I wouldn't say like specifically for like the Malay community, but I would just talk about in general Singaporeans. I mean, we are all brought up with Asian values. So I think first and foremost, number one, Asian values. So normally we want to stay near our families and our relatives and stuff. So that's why you start to see that the younger generation or the next generation, they want to stay near their parents. Of course, you have the proximity housing grant. I think that's a very good, I would say, kind of incentive also to give them to stay within 4 km. But at the same time, they also want to stay near parents. Why? Because they are easily accessible to the parents. Especially now, parents are getting older. They probably need some form of support. Also, some parents are also okay to take care of their kids. Right, when they go to work, this kind of thing. So they have their older parents to help take care of the kids. So that's why usually right now, if you realize, you start to see people going back to where their parents are anchored in. Like for example, I just give an example For example, like you see the Malay community, most of them, because they all grew up in like places like Tampines, Pasir Ris, East, you see like Woodlands, Yishun. So that's why you start to see them naturally gravitating towards these places because number one, close to their parents, you also got proximity housing grant. I think the sense of familiarity also, right? And could be also because maybe they've gone to the primary schools there, then maybe not in these areas, but maybe like alumni, other kind of primary school got alumni, so maybe want to stay within there also, within 1 km or 2 km kind of proximity. So that's what we see the trend is like. Of course, you also have people who move entirely from east to west, from west to east, north to south, etc. Yeah, but generally that's what we see.
Right.
Yeah. So I think in terms of affordability, first and foremost, always go and do a HFE letter, see how much grant you can take. Everything will be stated in your HFE letter. So I think that's good that you have one document that says everything. Yeah. Then from then you're able to sort of really identify what are the types of HDB you can go for, etc. lah. Yeah.
Actually, I got one last question, which is sekarang kan, just now was we were targeting people who are first time buyers to HDB. But like, how about people who are living in condo? Will these $1 million HDBs affect them as well?
Sekarang that's the cooling measure where you cannot sell your, if you want to right size from a condo to a HDB, then you have to wait 15 months. There's a 15-month cooling off period. That is of course for buyers that are below 55 years old. This does not apply for 55 years old onwards. Because most retirees, after they say private property, they just want to right size back to a HDB lah. So they don't have that ruling for them. Tapi kalau you are below 55, then there's this 15-month cooling off period lah. So this is a good way of kind of cooling off the market, because the issue that we had previously sebelum this cooling measure is that a lot of people they make a lot of money from the condo, then they just go back to HDB. And when they go back to HDB, they're sitting on a lot of capital. So they will just COV 200k, no problem. They just down everything. So that's why they have the cooling off period now. It forces the buyer to it reminds them that you have to rent first for 2 years or 15 months or 2 years. So this might turn off the concept of going back to HDB . Yeah, so when people go condo, most of the time they just stay condo all the way until they reach like 55. Then they will go back to HDB. That's the normal route for private property.
Bila diorang nak jual, kalau ada $1 million HDB, ada affect diorang punya selling punya phase tak? Price? Tak ada.
Kalau diorang jual $1 million HDB?
Diorang nak jual diorang punya condo. Diorang tinggal condo, diorang nak jual diorang punya condo. Kalau ada $1 million HDB, more $1 million HDB, will it affect their price? In terms
Depends. Of course, have to see.
It will affect their price, is it?
Yeah. So I'll give you an example. So for example, in Dawson, kalau banyak HDB already hit $1 million, $1.5 million plus, if let's say it increases to 1.8, 1.9, this means that they are sitting on more capital gain. So when they are sitting on more capital gain, it means they have more down payment to pay for their next property, which is probably going to be a private. So they have more affordability.
You're talking about the owners of these $1 million HDBs.
No, I'm talking about more the owners of condos. Bila diorang nak jual, when they want to sell their condos, like can they sell more because can they sell
$1 million HDBs?
Yeah, because if HDB prices go up, then generally
the upgrader demand.
If we assume that, of course you can sort of also that one you are able to sort of ask for a little bit more of the premium price. But I think the general understanding is there is always an equilibrium. So if HDB prices go up, then the disparity gap becomes smaller and smaller. That means that allows you to sort of really maybe push the price a little bit more lah. Of course, ultimately market demand and supply lah. If let's say you're holding on to a condo that is 99 years, it's quite old, then perhaps buyers might think twice, right, about buying your place. If yours is something that is brand new, then maybe there's higher potential for more appreciation. So that depends.
Okay. Sebelum kita habis, sebelum Ramzi nak jalan, Ramzi tengah ada benda ni kan. Ramzi okay, boleh stay lagi
Cemas.
Boleh.
Okay. 5 minutes.
Okay, gonna go through the rapid fire questions. Okay guys.
So rapid fire guys.
Okay, rapid
yes or no and one line.
Keyword is laju macam api. Okay. Alright. The first question is the dream of owning a home in Singapore officially dead? for young couples?
No.
Yes or no?
No. Nope.
Alright, second question. Are $1 million HDBs proof that Singapore's housing market is broken?
No.
Alright,
No?
alright.
This is just market lah.
Okay.
Bro, it's just the market forces. It's a norm that we have to accept.
Okay,
Like what I said previously.
ni open-ended Ni bukan MCQ, ni open-ended. Dah tak ada yes and no. If there's one thing, if you could go back 5 years from now, and
This is
there's
not yes
one
or no.
thing that you would have done differently to prepare for Nari punya HDB punya price, apa korang buat? Sebab confirm like macam korang tak pernah terfikir apa, like macam alamak, HDB is gonna
Okay,
be
first of
more
all,
expensive.
5 years ago was COVID. So we could never have prepared for that.
True.
That's why I would have bought a HDB back then.
Kalau aku,
I mean, I couldn't buy a HDB then. I cannot even buy a HDB now. There's no difference, you know.
I would have bought back then.
But in terms of preparation,
Yeah.
sebab 5 years before this, you weren't even in the real estate.
Yeah.
So like macam if you had all this knowledge right now, 5 years before this, what would you have done?
I would have
Prepare.
saved more for my down payment lah. That was what I would.
Yeah, but that being said,
prepare
I wouldn't, when I'm saving, I wouldn't go for HDB. I would just buy a private residential. Save for a private residential.
Can I answer this question?
bro,
Sure,
kalau,
go ahead.
kalau
It's for
aku,
all of us.
Kalau aku cepat-cepat kahwin lah.
Sama.
Oh,
Kalau aku
is that the answer that you want to say?
for. Yeah, that's the other thing we are
Yeah,
ignoring.
Yeah.
The fact
I mean,
that you to
5
be
years ago,
eligible to buy.
were you attached 5 years ago?
That's the thing.
That's why. If you could,
Only
you would,
I was-
right?
I was
If you could, you would, but you.
Benda-benda gini tak boleh control.
Ini semua tak ada. Okay, last one. Do you
Ooh.
think HDBs will still be affordable 5 years later?
Yes.
Yeah.
In
Affordable.
2030.
Yeah.
I trust that there will be measures, cooling measures, grants put in place to make it affordable. Yes. And regulations will
Affordable in
change.
5 years time context, yes. Yeah.
5 years, yes.
It's the
10 years,
context
15
time
years,
time. I think
we will
still
talk
be
again. Because of all the thing to
the
note for this
prime-
one is the plus and the prime. So
yeah.
because it's just introduced, right? So we only know the impact of it later in 2039, 2040. So yeah.
Faham.
Okay,
Okay,
faham.
Okay.
Right.
Can
Alright, we've come to the end of this episode of Tak Tahu Tanya. Be sure to follow us on our various social media platforms like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, at TikTok, at Rumah PLBSG. If you want to if you have an inquiry, do feel free to email us at rumahplb.sg@gmail.com. If you
habis
want,
kalau nak call,
call kita, boleh call kita kat 8777-0122.
boleh WhatsApp tak?
Boleh.
See you guys on the next episode of Tak Tahu Tanya.